Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool, and stay tuned in the video. I'll give you a little sneak peek into Montana Knife Company's new headquarters and factory. But first, I wanted to jump into the drama of the Bark River knives situation, and for two reasons. Neither one of them is that I own a Bark River knife. I don't. They haven't really appealed to me. I haven't gone down that road, but there are many manufacturers that, I haven't done anything with. However, a lot of people compare them to Fallkniven knives. And okay, I love Fallkniven knives. I've been using Fallkniven knives for almost 2 decades. They are great knives. But there is some overlap with my channel. One is the Fallkniven knives. The other is country of origin, because that seemed to be one of the areas that got Bark River knives in hot water, and ultimately the company is now closed. I'll let you dig around if you want to find out more about Bark River, but I'm going to go into it in a little bit different space. First of all, I'm going to say that America is, as far as I can tell, incapable of producing junk. Not that we can't. We're very talented, but we can't afford to. So, first of all, a lot of American-made products, if you are trying to get that full American-made experience, it's going to be expensive. Even though we're just a tiny fraction of the world's population, we do have some tremendous talent, and we can produce amazing things, but there is a lot of overlap into what can be considered truly American. And I say we can't make junk because we can't afford to. The other companies can make junk way cheaper than we can make junk, so nobody's going to buy American-made junk because it's going to cost too much. So let's look at the high end. Now, Fallkniven Knives, this is a company in Sweden. Similar to Granfors Bruck, which is another company I absolutely adore. But let's take a look at that a little closer. First of all, Fallkniven, these happen to be knives that they've got a few years on them, and I am fairly confident that the steel is as marked, because it can be, but Sweden is actually, I believe, the only current high quality producer of powder super steels for knives. Now, I suspect China makes quite a few of them as well. And I do Chinese knives on this channel, and I am astounded with the quality of some of the Chinese knives. You're talking about a massive portion of the population doing things. So then it usually changes to geopolitics and other stuff rather than quality. And by the way, the Asian countries, especially China and Japan, have got millennia on America as far as designing and building cutting instruments. I went to a samurai sword museum once in Japan. I think it was in Kyoto, and just the techniques, the ability. I mean, people imagine, I'm going to build a knife. Well, you're thinking, well, how many can you knock off in an hour or in a day? Well, we're talking about in a lifetime. Or this one's going to take me 2 years to make. Yeah, that's what it was, and everything was as good as it could be given the limitations of the tools that were making it. But now we've got an unlimited amount of quality we can throw at something, so then it becomes an issue of price. Now, there are some twists to this. Fallkniven is a Swedish company, and Sweden is the source right now for a lot of the world for powdered knife steel. However, Fallkniven blades are actually made in Japan. And what I like about them, besides the convex grind, which is also a thing that Bark River was doing, which caused some people not to like the grind because you couldn't do certain measurements because they were all just a little different, which is kind of the point of convex grinds. But anyway, if I look at this, they have a laminated cobalt steel. So first of all, it is a laminate. And the Japanese have manufactured these amazing laminates. I mean, I think just the best in the world, so why not use them? And you can see the laminate line along here. So they actually take the best of the best for the blade edge material and sandwich it between two slabs of probably the best for corrosion resistance, durability, stainlessness, things like that. So, because a lot of times they don't overlap. And then they make these blades. And I've got a bunch of different types of steel here. But the blade steel is not from Sweden. Let's try Granfors Bruck. I don't know what the steel is in their axe heads. It's proprietary, and I believe it's recycled. So I don't know where it comes from. And many of the handles, to my knowledge, come from American hickory. So am I going to throw out, you know, the origin story of Grand Force Brook because they use American hickory, or do I even care? Or does it even register? You know how great this wood is, but it comes from America, and I don't know where their steel comes from because it's recycled. They've got their own secret sauce. Totally fine with me. I absolutely love everything that goes into it. Now, my guess is that the hickory arrives probably pretty much like it came out of the ground, and then it is all formed somewhere. I think probably you know, a subsidiary company or something like that. And honestly, that's totally fine with me. It's the best of the best as far as I can tell. And here's something. This is my favorite hunting boot. Absolutely love these. Yes, that is what it looks like. No, it's blood. And I wouldn't trade these for anything. It's not an American company. It's an Italian company. But if you look inside here, the boot is actually made in Romania. I don't care. I love these boots. I would not trade them for anything. This is a hill I would die on. They, for my foot, are the greatest hunting boots ever. I have tried on some custom US made boots. I love these. I don't care. And in fact, there's a lot of components in my activities that are very country specific. And so looking at what Bark River did, I think here's what happened. This is just a guess, but I think they got into, or at least the owner got into, some sort of a bubble, or a news bubble, if you will, that really made the concept of needing to have American steel overwhelm, you know, his best interest, the company's best interest, basically, and maybe his impulsiveness. He just went ahead and actually claimed some knives were, I guess, 154 cm rather than a Chinese steel that he says is similar. To me, don't go down that road. It's a dead end in his situation. But 154 cm, I mean, that's like going to the Dollar Tree and buying stuff and then slapping the Costco Kirkland brand onto it. 154 cm is like the house band for Benchmade. Benchmade had to really do some other, you know, steel upgrades in their knives just simply because there was not that great an interest in 154 cm. Yeah, it's a good all-around steel. I have tons of 154 cm knives, but that's it. I mean, if you're going to lie about the steel, you might as well make it a really cool steel or one of the high-end ones. But maybe that would also, you know, catch some attention. Maybe he was trying to hide with a good but a very common and kind of bland steel. I don't know. I don't know what was in his mind, but I do know that there is a lot of I don't know, talk on the internet. People are very vocal, especially, you know, I've noticed it on my channels when I cover different things about country of origin, and it usually is a few select certain countries. And I'm kind of that way. I highlight a lot of US made stuff. Absolutely love the stuff. And I've highlighted Chinese stuff that's draped in the American flag. So, you know, it's like I'm all over the place on this, but it all comes down to the quality of the tool. So let's take a little side trip over, because in 2 weeks, there will be the grand opening on April 11th of the Montana Knife Company's new showroom and factory. So I wandered over there, actually met with the owner and talked to a bunch of people and took a little video. But anyway, this is what you're seeing in there. So here's some showroom footage. Gives you an idea of the display area. They have many of their knives on display.
I was here. I bought one of these for the wife. I'm gonna head it up before it's like that.
These two in particular that I'm showing you are the kind of the dagger and the speed goat are the most expensive and least expensive of their non-kitchen knives or non-culinary knives. They do have a $575 large kitchen knife, but that dagger one's about $475, and the little speed goat with the paracord handle down there is $200, I believe. So that's the range of knife expenses. So that's quite reasonable. The dagger, I asked them about that, and they said, well, it takes a lot more prep. In fact, twice as much pretty much for the blade, because you have to grind both sides. It's double-edged, so also check your local laws if you're thinking of going down that route. But anyway, they have got a ton of beautiful knives on display. You can handle these. They ask for help, but pretty soon they say, yeah, go for it. And they are also really diving into the kitchen cutlery space. Here's some of the back room. You can see, love the dog, especially a black lab. I don't know if it's got an MKC name of some sort. But anyway, you can see they've got a fairly large operation, and I'm actually looking through a giant window that's visible through the main lobby, which is also where there is a Black Rifle coffee bar. Excellent coffee, by the way. Kind of surprised me middle of the day. But anyway, what I'd like to do is spend a little bit more time out there, maybe interview the owner, and point out a few of my favorite of their knives. And a shout out to Joseph over at Millis Construction. I know he is a big Montana Knife Company knife aficionado. Too bad. I mean, it's April 11th. It starts early in the morning. Maybe fly into the headquarters is on the outskirts of a town called Missoula, Montana. So fly in. I could pick you up at the airport and take you there if you want to join in the fun. But anyway, so there it is. There's my Fallkniven collection. And if I really want to do the Missoula thing or the Montana thing, these are made in Missoula. Zombie tools. Nobody's copying these guys to my knowledge. I mean, there's maybe in video games, but that's another one. I don't know where they get the steel. I don't know where they get the leather. I don't know where they get the aluminum. I don't know who made it. But, you know, if I want as close to America as I can get, there it is. Zombie tools, Missoula, Montana. Let me know your thoughts. And with that, Doc out.